Hey YouTube, so today I'm going to talk about kind of a follow-up to my to yesterday's video about no fee investing and what I'm considering with M1. And questions have been brought up, like you know questions that I brought up is how M1 trades, and they only trade once a day. Now, you have no control over what time that trade executes. They say that it executes at the same time every day, but it doesn't execute. It executes at whatever price it happens to be at that time that they decide to execute it. So, it there's no. I'm not saying that this is common, but it does have the potential to happen. And that is with the lack of limit orders, the stock you choose could have a very negative effect at what price that trade executes at. And I'm just going to use Cedar Fair as an example here just because it just happened recently. And I'm not saying that M1 traded at this price, but I'm just saying the potential for this to happen is there with M1. And if you look, on October 2nd, Cedar Fair, well, previous October 2nd, Cedar Fair was trading in the $58, $57 range. Six Flags, there was some news that came out intraday. Intraday means during the market cycle, during market open, that Six Flags put in a bid to buy Cedar Fair. So what that did, if you look right here, it caused a spike. So it went from 58 bucks and spiked immediately to $64.05. And it stayed there for a little while. Now, I'm not saying that M1, again, completed a trade at this price. But if the perfect storm happened and this news came out at the time or just before the time that M1 was to execute a trade, you would have paid $64 for the stock. And look, as you can see, it wasn't until the next day, the very next day, that the news came out that they rejected the bid, and now we're back down to 57 bucks. One day. That's over a 10% loss in one day. And now you're stuck. Now what? Because now Cedar Fair is just back into its trading range again, 57, 58 bucks. But you're in it at a cost basis of 64. So that's why I say M1 is great for index investors. I just say it's a weakness. I'm not saying that that it's a weakness in picking individual stocks. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying there's a weakness in it, and this is just one example of what there's potential for something like this to happen. Now that's why I say M1 is best for index investors, ETF investors, and whatnot, because prices don't fluctuate like this intraday usually with just a plain vanilla S&P 500 index, right? So this is just an example that I wanted to put out there. I like M1. I still like M1. But for individual stock purchases and their lack of limit orders, something like this is potentially there to happen, because no matter what, M1 is not looking for your best interest. So it's just saying we're going to buy it at this time, boom, regardless of whether it's spiked up, 20% or not. So it's just something to look at, be aware of, and yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.